I thought the twist was so good. In a general sense, I also really liked the cinematography. It was very smooth, and I feel like it all wove together very nicely with the editing. I specifically really liked the part where she was running through the house and how seamless that was, and how the person was really following her so well until she got to the door and the husband was banging on the door and it was like an upward looking shot. I thought that transition was so good, and I feel like that for me was the highlight of the film. I thought it was really cool and it kind of ramped up the suspense for me. So that was top notch. I really, really liked that. Overall, I thought it was a really cool film. It was all aspects of creepy that I really, really liked, on top of a little bit of murder.
I thought the production design of the piece was very high. A lot of really great images in terms of the outside of the house, the construct inside of the house, that created a lot of sort of, excuse me, sinister sort of tension. And I thought that the piece really worked well to build up over the course of the narrative. And I thought the actors, especially the lead female performer, really reflected a great range of emotions from early in the piece of her emotional high with having the child on the way, then towards the ending with her child apparently gone. I thought there was a lot of interesting sort of roller coaster of emotions to her alone that was really able to carry the piece in a way that was quite compelling. There was a great approach to the music as well, and I thought there was a sort of reality bending aspect to the piece that had a good stylistic value to the overall experience that allowed you to sort of become engaged in the piece, even if the narrative context wasn't always completely clear. I still thought there was an emotional current that really worked well for the piece, combined with the other stylistic approaches.
Just such a heartbreaking film, you know, you see this woman essentially losing her mind, and you find that she has blocked out a memory of trauma for her in this hospital and has kind of lived in this reality in which she thinks that she has lived this whole life. Um, and it's nothing true before her very eyes. So it makes the reality that we live in this movie feel sort of surreal, as we do see this story mostly through the mother's eyes. So it's a, shocking reveal to us. The mother, really wants to live in disbelief of this reality. She's willing to kill for it, in order to keep carrying on as she's currently living, because she just can't accept the reality for what it really is. I really loved the way that they introduced us into this film. They really show extreme close-up shots of like old wooden doors. The world that the production designer and locations manager brought was beautiful. The cinematographer and the coloring just makes it a world you seamlessly fall into. And there are moments of terror, it's terrifying to find a stranger in your home messing with your daughter. And it's so to speak. So it's one of those things of you can see these moments that play with horror when it comes to building up the thrill, and the music score and everything is pretty cohesive and comes together within this piece.
Very interesting example of a unreliable narrator. Um, what I found very interesting about it is I feel like that element of it isn't revealed until we get closer to the end. Um, but it honestly it takes plot elements from the movie and it recontextualizes them. Like the fact that the neighbor uh, in the beginning of the movie is very uncharacteristically creepy and ominous. And at first, it because of how he's acting throughout it, uh, you feel more justified in the sense of like this guy's obviously trying to take the baby. Like, why wouldn't you uh, react if someone just forced you down, pulled out a knife, and then explicitly went, "I will do everything to take your baby." Very fascinating how it all came around and was tied up together in a neat little bow at the end. Just seeing how what we thought was reality ended up becoming a very warped, and I thought that was pretty cool.
And it's all very believable. Like her reality, the way they painted her reality seems very believable to the point where we're like, yeah, yeah, you're justified. Yes, your husband is wrong. Absolutely. Protect your baby at all costs. And then we realize the baby, she's losing her mind because she has not accepted the reality of the fact that this baby is not real. And then everything starts to make so much sense. Oh, husband isn't removed. He's trying to get through to you, and you seeing certain things a certain way. The neighbor's not obsessed with your baby. He's working around the house, and you're saying things in a certain way. The baby is not physically here. It's an empty crib, but you want this baby so bad, you're painting a reality a certain way, and you're so protective of the fact that someone could take this baby away from you because you have not accepted the fact that life took this baby away from you. So now you're looking for an enemy. Clearly didn't believe the passionate monologue from her husband about love conquering all and being able to move past it, and she felt like she needed to take these matters into her own hands. And we assume this because the boots are on her feet. The shovel alludes to the fact that she's killed her husband, and the fact that we see the husband playing with the baby with the neighbor who we know is very much dead, the baby who we know is also very much dead, and the husband is now involved in this fantasy means that he is also very much dead. What it leaves you to wonder is, will she ever be free of these demons? Will she ever get back to the reality and realize that this is the reality I've created? Likely not, because the reality that she's in right now is a lot less difficult for her to deal with, it seems like. Very interesting piece, very interesting concept.
I really like the poster in the beginning. I think it really made me curious on who these people are. Why is there 3 of them? Beautiful opening music, very cinematic opening, I felt, with the different close-ups of all the different surfaces. I really felt like it brought us into this place and where we are and sort of the character. The place was like a character in itself. Love the cinematography in the home as well. I thought the lighting was great. It wasn't too dark. I don't like it when a thriller is just all dark. I like to see it's not normal to have everything always be so dark. So I really like it when the lighting isn't so dark. I thought you set the tone very nicely and had beautiful locations, and the over the shoulder shot when you first see them go into the house and then the guy is standing there outside was really great. I love the subtle camera movements throughout this whole film. I thought it was wonderful. There was a part where the girl and the guy were sitting at the table, and I just loved how the camera moved. Just beautiful camera work and editing throughout. Great images with the water and the blood coming out on the steps under the door. That was really cool.